Ethan Caldwell owned more buildings than he could count. If you stood on the rooftop of his company headquarters in downtown Seattle and slowly turned in a circle, chances were you'd see at least 4 properties he controlled. Tech campuses, warehouses, luxury condos. At 41, Ethan wasn't just wealthy. He was powerful. And he hated what that power had done to his love life. Because somewhere between the first acquisition and the third billion in valuation, women had stopped seeing him. They saw the company, the valuation, the headlines, but not him. So every Thursday night, Ethan put on a faded gray hoodie, scuffed sneakers, and drove a dented green hatchback with a cracked rear light. And he delivered groceries. Not because he needed to, but because he needed to know. Who would want him, without knowing who he was? 15 dates in 6 months. 15 polite smiles that slowly cooled when they realized he wasn't ambitious, just a delivery driver with flexible hours. He learned to recognize the shift. The way eyes flickered when they asked what he did. The way posture straightened when they expected more. The way enthusiasm faded when they realized there wasn't more. He didn't blame them. At least, that's what he told himself. But every time he walked back to his car alone, something inside him tightened. Because once, years ago, before the IPO, he'd been loved for real. Or so he thought. His ex-wife used to say she admired his drive. But after the money came, so did expectations. Then comparisons. Then resentment. By the time the divorce papers were signed, Ethan realized something brutal. Money hadn't ruined the marriage. It had exposed it. So now he tested. Not cruelly. Not manipulatively. Just quietly. If someone liked Ethan the grocery guy, maybe they'd like Ethan the billionaire. That's what he hoped. Until the night he met Maya. It wasn't a date. It was aisle 7. Organic pasta section. He was stacking substitutions for a late order when he noticed her arguing with a supplier on the phone. Not angry. Focused. Calm under pressure. "Listen," she said, pressing the phone between her shoulder and cheek while checking invoices. "If you delay this shipment again, families depending on these deliveries don't get their meals." She paused. Softened her tone. "I'm not asking for a favor. I'm asking for accountability." She hung up and sighed. "That was impressive," Ethan said before thinking. She looked up. Dark hair tied loosely. Tired eyes. No makeup. "Stocking pasta is impressive?" she replied dryly. "Standing your ground is?" She studied him for a second. "You're the Thursday night driver." He blinked. "You noticed?" "I notice who actually checks expiration dates." That caught him off guard. Most people barely noticed him at all. "I'm Maya," she said. "Ethan." She nodded toward the cart. "You're overqualified." "For grocery delivery? For carrying that much?" He laughed. No one had ever called carrying overqualified before. Over the next few weeks, their conversations became routine. Short exchanges between orders. Small talk that slowly deepened. Maya was 29. Raising her 17-year-old brother, Lucas. Autism spectrum. High functioning, but sensitive to noise and routine changes. Their parents had died in a highway accident 3 years earlier. Since then, Maya had dropped out of graduate school. Worked 2 jobs. Kept the apartment. Kept her brother steady. "You ever think about going back?" Ethan asked one night while scanning barcodes. "Every day." "So why don't you?" She smiled faintly. "Because therapy bills don't pay themselves." He nodded. He understood sacrifice. He'd sacrifice sleep, relationships, peace. But never like that. Never for someone else. One slow evening, she pulled a sketch pad from behind the counter. "I design schools," she said. "On paper." She turned the page toward him. It wasn't flashy. No glass towers or dramatic curves. It was simple. Soft lighting. Rounded corners. Quiet sensory rooms. Open green courtyards. What's different? He asked. They're built for kids like Lucas, she said. Not forced into systems that overwhelm them. He felt something tighten in his chest. His company optimized cities. But he'd never thought about how cities felt. You're good, he said honestly. She shrugged. I see what others ignore. That sentence stayed with him long after he drove home to his penthouse overlooking the bay. 3 months passed. No dating apps. No blind setups. Just Thursday nights. Then one night, Maya wasn't herself. Her movements were mechanical. Her voice thin. Everything okay? He asked quietly. She hesitated, then shook her head. The therapy center is shutting down. He stilled. Funding cuts. The state pulled grants. They've got 2 months before they close. And Lucas? She swallowed. He regresses without structure. If he loses this... She didn't finish. Private therapy would cost $36,000 a year. She'd already done the math. Extra shifts. Loans. Crowdfunding. None of it would be enough. Ethan could fix it in one phone call. But he didn't. Because the moment he stepped in publicly, everything would change. Instead, he made quiet calls. He redirected and used philanthropic allocations from his company's foundation. He connected the therapy center with an anonymous donor network. He ensured sustainable funding, not a one-time rescue. 2 weeks later, the center announced it would remain open under new corporate sponsorship. Maya cried in the stockroom. You did something, she said later, watching him carefully. I pack groceries, he replied lightly. She studied him. You listen, she said. That matters more. 3 nights later, she approached him differently. Calmer. Certain. She held up her phone. Forbes magazine. A photo he hated. Ethan Caldwell, she read softly. Billionaire tech founder reshaping urban infrastructure. Silence fell between them. You knew, he said. 3 weeks ago. How? You left a document in one of the crates. Company registration. I googled it. He closed his eyes briefly. And you didn't say anything. I needed to know, she said. What? If you'd solved my problems with money, or with thought. He felt exposed. I've been used before, he admitted. So have I, she replied. The air shifted. I wasn't testing your wealth, she continued. I was watching how you handled power. And you didn't make me owe you. He exhaled slowly. You're not angry? Are you? A small smile tugged at his mouth. They'd both been protecting themselves. Both afraid. Why keep delivering groceries? She asked. Because when people think you're ordinary, they show you who they are. And what did I show you? That you care about things that don't benefit you. She nodded. Money isn't bad, she said. It just magnifies what's already there. He absorbed that. Most people chase money to feel bigger. She saw it as a mirror. Months passed. They began dating, honestly this time. No disguises. No half-truths. Lucas liked Ethan immediately. Not because of wealth. Because Ethan learned his routines. Respected his boundaries. Listened when he talked about train systems for 40 minutes straight. Ethan didn't interrupt. Didn't rush. He was present. One evening, standing in the therapy center parking lot, Maya said quietly, You could build anything in this city. I know. So why deliver groceries? He thought for a long moment. Because I needed to remember what ordinary feels like. And I don't want to forget. 6 months later, Ethan funded the construction of a new sensory-focused educational facility. But he didn't put Caldwell on the building. He named it the Lucas Center. When reporters asked why, he said simply, "Because cities should serve people, not headlines." On opening day, Maya stood beside him in the courtyard she once sketched on paper. "You could have built another skyscraper," she said softly. "I have enough of those." "And what do you have now?" He looked at her. "Something not for sale." Later that night, in an empty classroom painted in calming blues and greens, he got down on one knee. No cameras. No press release. Just quiet certainty.